viewers, welcome to another segment of the platform. I am Tonia Oshili. For those of you that are just joining us for the first time on the show, it's good to have you and thanks for joining us. Now here on the platform, we talk about the state of our nation, Nigeria, with particular concentration on the aspects that affect Nigerians directly. On today's segment, we'll be analyzing the constitutional rights of Nigerians that are often violated by members of the law enforcement. Now, before the show goes on, we're going on a short commercial break, but the show will continue right after. Welcome back to the program. This is still the platform, and we're discussing the constitutional rights of civilians that are most often violated in our country, Nigeria. Now with me in the studio is Barrister Aloysius Udeoke. Sir, it's very good to have you on the show with us.
Thank you.
Yes, I hope traffic wasn't too rough on your way here.
No, we are lucky today. So the road was a bit free.
Alright, sir. Alright, so sir, we know that majority of Nigerians are not quite aware of their rights, and whenever they find themselves in situations where they have issues with law enforcement bodies, they don't know what to do and their rights are being infringed upon. Now let's say in a situation where a Nigerian is wrongfully arrested and taken to jail and detained, how can that Nigerian act, how can that person act if the person is in jail for something he or she did not commit? Is there any action the person can put forward?
Yes, the citizen has the right of action. When arrested, the citizen can go to court to assert his or her fundamental human rights.
It's okay.
So, when a person is arrested, the law enforcement agency has a time limit within which to detain such a person.
What's that time limit, sir?
Okay. The Constitution stipulates 24 hours
Okay.
in the first instance, depending on the proximity of a court.
Okay.
The court is not so proximate to the place of detention. It can last for 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
The person is entitled to be taken to a court of competent jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It is only the court that can order that the person be remanded further in prison or be granted bail.
Bail, okay. Okay, but now we know the whole buzz that has been going on in Nigeria with regards to the whole NSAS movement, and you know, Nigerians took to the streets of the several states across the nation, and you know, Lagos was like the epicenter of these protests. With all these things that Nigerians did now on the streets, is there any violation of the constitutional laws that Nigerians did? Like, is there any law against protesting?
No. The Constitution allows citizens to protest,
Okay.
to agitate, to ask for their rights.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But also, there is certain limits in the sense that you don't go violating other people's rights, because their own freedom stops where others begins.
Yeah. Okay. So this protesting now, the law backs it. Does it state anywhere that it must be peaceful?
Yes.
There must be no destruction of personal, private properties.
No, the law does not allow that. You don't destroy while in the process of protesting. The protest has to be peaceful.
Okay.
And in a situation where protesters, go out of their way, that's why we say that the law enforcement agencies have to guide and direct the protest.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then there are some things that happens to several Nigerians that they don't even know how to, settle the matter whenever they end up in court. Let's take for instance defamation of character now. When someone finds themselves in a situation where their name has been slandered, what actions can the person put forward to clear his or her name?
Well, it depends on the person who feels offended by the publication. They may settle amicably out of court, or the person may decide. The law grants you the right to go to court if you feel that your character has been defamed by any publication, to sue the person who did the publication. So one has the right to protect his reputation, his character against defamation.
Okay. Well, in a situation where you as a Nigerian, you're not a law enforcement member, and you see someone, let's say the police now, going contrary to what is his or her duty, is it right for a Nigerian to act on the spot and correct that that officer, or is there something else you can do to probably, let's say, report or go and take legal actions, especially when these things that they do, stop and search, and then they start. There was even a Nigerian that was killed because he refused to unlock his phone for a police officer to check through. So things like this that happen, you as a witness to this kind of situation, is there anything you can do on the spot?
Well, ordinarily, the law grants every citizen of Nigeria, the right to arrest somebody you caught committing a crime. The spot, yes. And the issue now, in the case of a law enforcement officer, probably with a gun, can you effectively do that? So the stipulation of the law and what one can actually do is the issue. But when you do that, when you arrest under the provisions of the law, you hand the person over to the law enforcement agencies.
Well, it's most likely that the law enforcement officer, they will not willingly allow himself to be arrested. So there might be some violence or force involved.
That is the thing. So and the fear of intimidation or the consequence of going to arrest somebody who is armed and in uniform.
But is there any way you can, make a recording as proof that this officer actually did this thing? Is there any law against that, recording any illegal act carried out?
No. And you see that it is helping. The panel is being set up by this answer. It was the recordings done by individuals who felt that the rights had been violated by the law enforcement agencies and some witnesses. Even what DJ Switch did during the litigate incident. So she's a private individual. She did the recording, and her recordings are being used even by medias outside the country.
As reference and proof. Alright, sir, one last question. Now, you can see that the youths of this generation, they are taking much more interest in political affairs and governmental issues. Now, is there any age limit for someone to aspire to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Yes. I think the age limit is 35 years.
Wow. Must you be a residing, how will I put it now? A residing Nigerian. Can you aspire, you're a Nigerian, but you're probably not in the country. Must you be residing in Nigeria during the period of the election and campaign before you can be, accredited as a candidate to aspire for?
Well, the requirement is that you have to be a Nigerian citizen. You have to be a Nigerian citizen. That is the requirement to aspire for political office. Okay. The issue of not being resident will come to logistics. At least you cannot be outside the country and campaigning. So that alone will compel you to be present in the country. But the principal requirement is that you have to be a citizen of Nigeria and attain the minimum age requirement as prescribed by the Constitution.
Okay. Must you also belong to a political party?
Well, the issue of independent candidacy is not recognized. And you check again, mobilizing funds and other things. So that's why one has to be presented by a political party.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. It's very good to have you on the show. I hope you would, come around next time we need your presence here.
Thank you. I will certainly do.
Alright, sir. Guys, we've come to the end of this segment of the program. I want to thank you all for tuning in and for joining us all around the nation. For those of you that joined us today for the first time, I hope you enjoyed it and it was very, very informative to you. We'll be having another segment next week, so kindly join us next week, same channel, same station, same time, for another invigorating and informative edition of the show. I am Tonia Oshili, and I say goodbye and stay safe.